Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be doing a reading vlog. So I actually got the idea to do this reading vlog from my friend Emmy. She did a reading FairyLoot Special Editions vlog, and then recently I picked up Silvercloak by Laura Stevens, or LK Stevens I think she's called herself on this book, and I have the early copy, the proof, which is usually how I prefer to read books because it's in paperback, but the font in this book is ridiculously small. So I thought, why not pick up my FairyLoot edition, because it is hardback and of course the font is more readable, eligible, I'm not sure how to say it, but it's definitely more accessible for my eyes. So yeah, I started reading Silvercloak yesterday and I thought this is the perfect time to read FairyLoot editions while I have started one. So this is Silvercloak by LK Stevens, Laura Stevens, like I said. Like, how beautiful is this FairyLoot edition? Then it has of course artwork, and it is signed, and it's got different artwork on the back. I just love artwork because it makes it so easy to picture the characters. And then on the naked hardback we have this foiling and this beautiful purple color, which I love. It's just such a stunning edition. So I started reading this yesterday. I am now on page 110 and I'm having the best time. Like, Laura's writing, I loved Our Infinite Fate, so I wasn't surprised that I would love the writing in this, but this feels so different. It's such a different, I felt like Our Infinite Fates felt very urban fantasy, you know, contemporary magical realism, that's the right word, whereas this definitely feels more high epic fantasy, but there's a little romance brewing, I believe. So I don't know if this is classed as romantasy or fantasy. On the proof it says a dark and delicious adult fantasy debut, but I feel like there's going to be a romance because there was like a prophecy at the beginning and someone was kissing someone, so I'm guessing they're going to build some type of rapport, because at the moment, I mean this is very early on into the book, they are on opposing teams. So we have the Silvercloaks and we have the Blood Moons. One is kind of like, the Silvercloaks are kind of like police or detectives, you know, the government type of vibe, and then we have the Blood Moons who are kind of a well-organized gang and they kind of do crime, but the Silvercloaks are not able to get the Blood Moons like in jail or anything because they can't pin anything on them. So our female main character is tasked with going undercover because of certain reasons which I won't spoil, but she's tasked with going undercover to find, you know, evidence to pin against the Blood Moon so that the Silvercloaks can finally take them down. The way Laura writes, it just flows so well and it's so descriptive, but in an accessible way. It doesn't feel like overly flowery, but it feels very well crafted, and I'm really enjoying this so far. Like I said, I'm 110 pages in and I just want to fly through this book. Like, I was out yesterday and all I was thinking was, I can't wait to get home and continue reading this book. That's when you know I'm invested, because usually I love chit chats with the girls, but yesterday I really was just like, oh, I want to go home and read my book. So this is the first book that we shall be reading. However, I do have other options. I think we're going to read 3 in this video. So I also have The Wind Weaver, which I've heard really good things about. This is by Julie Johnson, and I think I heard Covers with Cassidy, if you follow her on YouTube, talking about this book, and she, I think, gave it 5 stars. So I of course went and bought it. I bought this secondhand from Vinted. That's the original cover, but this is the redesigned FairyLoot cover, and then we have the naked hardcover, the artwork on the inside. I'm just so curious about these characters. I need to know more because we have 2 men there. So I wonder if it's a love triangle or what's going on. These are the edges, which are not my favorite, but the actual design of the book makes up for the edges, so I don't mind. But yeah, that is definitely an option. I'm thinking I'll pick this up after Silvercloak because I do really want to read this. I'm intrigued. Now these last 2, I'm not sure what I want to go for. They're both interesting me, but I'm leaning more towards this one because it's Viking fantasy romance, which I typically have a good run with. Every one that I've read before, like the Bridge Kingdom series, the Road of Bone series, I think it's called the Ashen series, I really enjoyed. Broken Souls and Bones by LJ Andrews, and I've never read from this author before, but I hear really good reviews of this book and this author. Let me just give you a tour of the book. This is the redesigned cover, and then this is the edges. We have artwork on the inside, this mountain foiling on the cover, and then this artwork on the back. And then I also have A Temptation of Magic, The Temptation of Magic by Megan Scott. Now this one is not my favorite design. It just looks like an old style book, but maybe it goes very well with the story. I'm not too sure. Artwork is beautiful. And I think this is an enemies to lovers situation. So this says sworn to be enemies, destined to be each other's undoing. So yeah. Okay, so before we go ahead and continue Silvercloak, I do have boxes from FairyLoot to unbox. More books. Because I was a FairyLoot ambassador. I'm not sure if they're going to renew me for another 3 months, but for May, June, July, I was an ambassador. So I've got June and July's boxes here that I want to unbox with you guys so we can see what new picks we have. I'm not sure which one's June and which one's July, so let's see if I can find a paper or something. Oh, this one looks beautiful already. Oh, and I did it upside down. It's this way. So this is Air of Storms by Lauren Hamilton Murray, and I had a friend yesterday that I was talking to that said she was really enjoying this. So this is what the edge is. Wow, they are beautiful. I love the colors. I believe this is YA fantasy. It is signed. Ooh, and the naked hardcover is done like, do you remember the Heavenly Bodies FairyLoot edition? That's exactly what this looks like. But it's a blue version. I believe the Heavenly Bodies was purple. Makes me want to read it even more because it's just so stunning. I am the girl who wove the storm that shook the world, and I'm coming for my crown. Yes, girl. June Romantasy is Rose in Chains. I'm trying to be so careful getting it out. I don't want to damage the book. So this is what that looks like. Oh my god, guys, I just finished this. Before I started Silvercloak, I just finished Rose in Chains, and I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I just loved everything about it. It was really dark though, so check your trigger warnings, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. The tension and the yearning, you could just feel, like every time she touched him, he was just like, stop, I'm gonna combust. So yeah, I loved this book. I'm so glad I have this edition. And then these are the edges. It is signed on the artwork page. Now that I've read the book, the artwork just means so much more because I know this scene. Oh my gosh, look at the naked hardcover. This is perfect. More artwork. And then last but not least, we have the June adult box, which is another one that I've already read. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, my favorite read of the year so far. I have so many editions of this book already. But I'm so glad to have the FairyLoot edition because how beautiful. Maria and Charlotte on the artwork. Oh, I miss these characters. I want to read it again. Alice and Charlotte. This art style really reminds me of the art from the Atlas 6. I wonder if it's the same artist. Sorry, I know this is a lot of yapping. I'm gonna hurry through the July box. I just caught a glimpse of this one. What is this? The Romantasy? This is the adult fantasy book. I'm actually so excited for this book. This is A Dance of Lies, which is upside down. A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. I love that the edges match the actual cover. Oh my gosh, look at the design on the naked. Oh wow, they've got like a full artwork in here. And then on the naked hardcover as well. Oh, I can't wait to meet these characters and like watch these or read these scenes. I hope I love this book. I do love the smell of FairyLoot books though. Oh, this might be a love triangle because we've got a blonde love interest here and then we've got a dark-haired one on the back. I feel like it always turns out to be the dark-haired one, don't you think? Oh, I'm so interested. Should I add this to the reading vlog today? Well, this is definitely an option. I'll add it to the options list because I really want to read this. The July Romantasy book is Arcana Academy by Elise Kovar, which I have read and I didn't love. I wasn't invested and I don't know, you know when a book just doesn't click with you, but a lot of people are loving it, so don't let me put you off. I might just be a minority in this, or maybe I read it at the wrong time, I'm not too sure. This is the edition. Kind of gives me like Babel from R.F. Kuang, that whole dark academia vibe, and I guess that is the vibe of the book. They are in a school for most of the book. Okay, do you know what? That's actually a lot better than how I pictured her, because you know, like you're reading a description of the character and it kept talking about her like really short hair because she shaved it off herself. So I wasn't picturing a good short bob, you know, but this is giving she went to the salon. She got an actual bob done. Do you know what I mean? And then it said she had red eyes and I was like, I can't picture it, but now that I'm seeing it, yeah. But I do believe it said he had purple hair and that also threw me off. So I wonder if there's artwork of him. Oh, okay. That's definitely not what I was picturing when I read the description, but that is so much better than I that focusing? That is so much better than what I was thinking. I don't know why. I gave him bright purple hair, but obviously this makes more sense for it to be like a really dark black purple. Okay, yeah, that is stunning. It is a beautiful book. I just unfortunately didn't love the story. And last but not least, I believe we have the YA, the July YA book. The Nightblood Prince by Molly X Chang. Okay, I don't actually have this book and I have heard of it. This is stunning. This is a beautiful cover. Wow. Oh, and the edges. I can't believe I haven't seen this book before. Normally I get loads of spoilers for FairyLoot books because a lot of people get their boxes way earlier than I do. So this is the first time I haven't actually been spoiled for a design, and it is gorgeous. And it is signed in gold. Love that. All the artwork. I will never get enough of artwork. I just love seeing the characters. And the naked hardcover is a wraparound design. Is that a fan? Yes, it's a fan. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous book. This is the original cover, which definitely hints towards a love triangle, but I love the redesigned cover. Beautiful, stunning, gorgeous, all of the above. I love FairyLoot books. They just never miss. Their designs are stunning. Oh, my leg is cramping up. Okay, well, I definitely have more than enough books to do another reading vlog of FairyLoot books. So let me know if you enjoy this one and I will definitely do it again. But for now, I'm gonna get back to Silvercloak, and I'm hoping I can get a decent way through this. If not, finish it. I mean, that's very ambitious, but I'm eating this story up. I'm loving it. So yeah, I will continue reading and I shall update you when I have a little bit more thoughts. Guys, this book is so good. I'm so gripped. I'm so invested. It's so fast paced. Like, there's just so much going on. It's so high stakes as well. Like, I'm so scared for the character. How many times did I just say so? The stakes are high, and like the situation that she's in, because she's undercover, and it just feels like the blood moons are onto her. It just feels like I'm on the edge of my seat the whole time because I'm so scared she's gonna get found out. Everything she does, I'm just like, they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out. They know, because they just have this knowledge, and they have a deeper knowledge of magic than she does as well. They cast, it's like wand magic that's fueled by pleasure and pain. So pleasure refills your magic well, whereas pain intensifies the spell. So if you're in pain or you get pain, it makes your magic more intense. Whereas if you experience pleasure, even simple pleasures like having a hot chocolate or a little sweet treat, that makes your well fill up, so it gives you more access to magic. But the blood moons seem to have a really complex grasp on the magic, and they're doing some spells that even she's like, how are they doing that? I've never heard that before. So it's just making me so scared, because she likes to think that she is, you know, a know-it-all type of vibe, and she just went into this thinking, I'm gonna take them on and they don't know this about me, they don't know that about me. They're just so much more advanced than she ever thought. So I feel like she's in over her head, and things that she thought they didn't know from her past, they knew, and I'm just so scared for her. Like, what's just happened right now on page 200, I'm like, how do we come back from this? Because girl, oh, I'm scared for her. Oh, I don't think I'll finish it tonight. I'm being very ambitious, but probably tomorrow I will end up finishing this, but I'm gonna try get a decent way through it tonight. Hello, my love. So it's the next day. I made it up to page 254. I want to keep reading this so bad, but I've got a work event today, so I have to head out, and this doesn't fit in my bag, so I can't take it with me. Oh, what if I took the proof? Yeah, I'm gonna take the proof with me so I can actually read it on my way to my work event, and on the way back. That should get me a good solid 2 hours of of reading. But yeah, everything I said yesterday still stands. I'm still thoroughly enjoying this book. It's still on the course to a 5-star read. I'm having the best time. Like, the magic is just so good. There's a little tension, little romance building between the two. It's very slow burn because obviously she hates him, because she hates the organization that he's part of. She hates his dad, like all of that, and he's just very much like cautious of her, but there's something brewing. So yeah, it's really interesting. I'm gonna go now because I am running late, but I will see you guys or speak to you guys later. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more into this book. Okay guys, it is later on in the day. It's 6 o'clock I believe, and I am back home, thank God. I'm so happy to be back with my FairyLoot edition, or the traditionally published version, because what I've come to realize is that quite a few things have been rearranged, rewritten. I'm actually immersive reading, so I was reading the audiobook as well as reading along physically, and when I do that with the proof, so many sentences have been rearranged, words have been changed, things have been cut out, so it was hard to follow along. I felt like the audiobook was going off and then my eyes were reading something different, so it was really hard to read this. I feel like the changes that were made were good changes. It was just tightening up. It was like editing, you know, it just tightened up the writing and like made things less repetitive, and it just read better in the audiobook and traditionally rather than the proof. So yeah, I'm actually really glad that I'm reading this traditionally published version. So I'm on page 314. I've only got this much left to read. It is popping off. Something's just been revealed that I already knew. It was hinted at quite a lot in the book, so I just knew, you know, but it's not being like, it's not I was gonna say it's not being treated like a big reveal, but the main character's acting like it's a big reveal to her, but I low-key knew it the whole time. Do you know what I mean? But it's fine. I'm happy that she finally knows. She's caught up to my thinking. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm gonna get cozy and then lock in for the rest of the evening. Hopefully I'll finish it and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Okay guys, so I finished Silvercloak by L.K. Stephen, Laura Stephen, and I loved it. Gave it 4.5 stars. Her writing just works for me. It just scratches an itch. It's adult but accessible. It's descriptive yet engaging, and dialogue and banter and magic and story, the plot. There's a POV at the end that I'm hoping will continue into book 2. I really enjoyed how the romance progressed. It felt very natural. They had common interests, and it was kind of like seeing the humanity behind morally grey MMC, and he's just really a sweet nerdy boy. They have like, I don't want to spoil it, but they have common interests that really like just felt authentic. They both have childhood trauma, and the bonding just felt very natural, and I love them both. And like I said, I'm so excited for book 2, so this was a yes from me. I did also start The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson, so I am on page 193, so I'm quite the way through this, and I'm not vibing just yet. I'm not gripped just yet. I feel like the first 200 pages have just been them traveling, and our female main character doesn't know anything. She's been very sheltered. Some romanticies you'll start with the character knowing she has a power that she's hiding, and it kind of builds this tension, whereas this FMC doesn't know anything, like aside from her being half fae, or a halfling they call them. She knows that because she has pointy ears, but she doesn't know if she has any magic. Like, she doesn't know anything. So every time the MMC is talking to her and she's like, can you explain that? Like, what do you mean? He's just like, are you dumb? Type of vibe. And it was like, I'm not a fan of being left in the dark, especially straight from the beginning, because then it just leaves me not invested in the characters, or I'm starting to not care as much. I'm listening to an audiobook as well, so I'm like tandem reading or immersive reading, and the narrator of the audiobook has one of those voices that, I don't know if you've seen the TikTok where it's like, my father died, my mother died, my sister died, and my brother died, and I'm all alone, so I'm just so skinny, and I haven't eaten, so I'm so skinny, and it falls off my body because I'm so skinny. And like, that's that's the energy the narrator is giving. Like, the whiny tone is a little bit grating, so I might just read the rest of this physically with my eyes, because it's really affecting how I enjoy the book. So I'm not enjoying the audiobook, and I have to keep pausing it to read physically to decide, did I not like how that was written, or do I not like how it was said? And it's kind of half and half. I don't like how it is narrated, but I also don't like how it's written. It's not giving adult romantasy, it's giving YA romantasy. Not hard to read at all. It's leaving nothing to be desired, really. Everything is just written as plain as day on the paper. So some things are being hinted at that I feel like I I'm already guessing at the twists, and I don't know, I'm just not vibing at the moment, but I am going to continue because I had to do this thing. If I'm not vibing with a book, I will go onto TikTok and I will look at other people's 5-star reviews so it can get me a bit hyped and make me feel like I'm missing out, you know? Let me know if anyone else does that, but I've watched a few 5-star reviews of this book, so now I feel like I'm the one missing something and I need to find out what everyone loves about this book, so I'm going to continue it. But she's just arrived somewhere and met someone new, so I'm hoping that's going to take the story in a different direction. But that's what I'm thinking and feeling so far on The Wind Weaver. Where do I even begin? Okay, so I'm on page 468, so I'm nearly finished with this book, and guys, there's no plot, there's literally nothing happening. So when I said earlier that the book took a turn, something else, like the setting had changed, because for the first maybe 200 pages they were on the road, they were on the way to somewhere. I didn't enjoy that. I feel like the traveling aspect was just too long and I just wasn't vibing with it. Then we changed setting and we went more into a court, like a royal court, so we were dealing with royalty and like nobles, and it got a little bit more interesting. I don't know if that was just because it was a change in direction that I was like, finally we're going somewhere else with this story. I'm really enjoying the side characters. What is his name, Farley and Jack. I feel like they're written very well. They have great humor. They're just that comical relief side character that I really enjoy. The romance, the male main character is really still at this point, I'm damn near the end, he is still a bleep bleep bleep. Like he's an arsehole. He is an arsehole. He's just being rude all the time. He's shouting at her all the time. They were starting to warm up to each other a little bit and then he just decides to like switch off. He's always just going at her and it's just too much. I don't like him. But of course, based on the artwork in the back of this book, so he is the guy that we've slapped myself with the book. He is the guy that we're seeing a lot of, but we did get a chapter with this guy towards like the beginning, middle of the book, and we haven't seen him since. And at this point, I'm rooting for him. Where is he, please? Soren, where are you? Maybe he'll be more in book 2. His personality was more suited to what I want a male main character to be, you know? So I don't know if this is a Tamlin situation, if you guys have read ACOTAR, but I really hope this is not the end game guy because he is jarring. I honestly would have DNF'd this book if I wasn't doing it for a reading vlog, but I'm being stubborn. I've made it this far. I'm gonna see it through to the end, but I just don't know where this story is going. She's been at this court, this royal court, for ages. Like the whole book she's been there and nothing has happened. There's loads of paragraphs describing like, you know, rooms and gardens, and for what purpose? It's just pages and pages of nothing. I don't understand. We are in the last 100 pages and usually this is where it's all popping off and like we're getting, you know, reveals and things are nothing's happening. I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you what is actually happening in this world aside from her being hunted by the same people she was being hunted by at the beginning. I just had to get my thoughts out because honestly she found him. So he was drained. His magic was drained for a little bit. This is not a spoiler. I'm not going to spoil anything, but she found him somewhere. He basically says to her, oh, I see you've escaped your guard. And she goes, oh, don't blame Cadogan and Jack. And he goes, I shall blame whoever I bloody please. He snaps. For what purpose? Why are you shouting at her? I don't like him. I don't like him, which would make sense if he is not meant to be the love interest. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe I'm not meant to be rooting for him, but it's really affecting my reading experience with this book because what else is there? There's literally no plot. So I'm holding on for the romance and the romance is not doing it. Yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. I'm gonna finish this book and then probably, it's quite late right now, so probably tomorrow I will hopefully start a new book. I don't want to pick up another romantasy at the moment. I really want to go in a completely different direction and just read a thriller, or maybe I'll continue Nocticadia because I did start that the other day. I might just read something else before we start the next book, which I think is going to be A Dance of Lies. I'm really being drawn to that, but I can't take another disappointment. So I sat down to edit this video and I realized all of my clips reading this book are gone. How annoying. I put my memory card in and it's empty, so I think I must have reformatted the card but I don't know when. To be honest with you, I filmed this video like 3 weeks ago. I've been on holiday. I've read so many books since I read The Wind Weaver, so it could have happened at any time. So I'm gonna have to go through my thoughts on everything. So we're gonna start with The Wind Weaver. There's not much to say. Everything I said in the previous clip still stands. I feel like this was a whole lot of nothing, unfortunately, and I don't know if I'm gonna continue this series. Probably not, unless I hear that the second book heavily focuses on Soren, the other love interest. This guy right here with the water power, because the fire guy, I just didn't like him at all, and it really made my reading experience really bad. I think on Goodreads I gave it a 2.5 star. Yeah, I gave it 2.5 stars, and I said, I'm so sad this didn't work for me. The FMC was sheltered in a small town growing up, so she knew nothing, which meant we had to wait until page 200 to get some understanding about this world, magic, etc., which drove me a little crazy. I enjoyed the change of scenery around the 200 page mark and continued to enjoy it till about page 300, where it decided to stop progressing. As in, no plot. She got mocked at court, made a friend had a baby, she watched the men spar, did some target practice, but unfortunately I was pretty bored. Until the plot finally came back in the last 50 pages. A character asks them, what have you been doing all this time? And yes, please ask them, because I too am unsure. Okay, I felt a little bit sassy in this review. I really enjoyed the side characters. They really saved this book for me. Every time Farley, Jack and Soren were on the page, I had a great time. Little found family moments, but unfortunately even they weren't enough to make up for the fact that I hated the MMC pen. He gave me Tamlin vibes, which depending on how book 2 goes may have been intentional. Constantly shouting, barking or growling at her, and not in a cute way. Always trying to lock her away rather than helping her to master her ability. Treats her like a damsel in distress when she could be more powerful than him. Let's just say I'm rooting for the other guy, who barely had a chapter, might I add. Unsure if I will continue this series unless I hear book 2 heavily focuses on Soren and not Pen. So yeah, everything that I basically said to you I put in my review, and yeah, this just wasn't for me, unfortunately. Next, I read A Dance of Lies, and I'm slowly forgetting what this book was about. Like I said, I read this like 3 weeks ago. I've been on holiday. I've read other books. It's just not something that stayed with me. I remember there was a gathering and she was, you know, performing, and she had to spy because she was being threatened by the king to spy on his brother at this gathering, and she's a dancer. But of course, the more she spies on his brother, the more she gets to know the brother, and yeah, there was something brewing between them. But there was also something brewing between her and her dance partner. That's all I can remember, really. I remember enjoying it while I read it, but I feel like I gave it 3.5 stars. It was just okay for me. It wasn't mid, it was just a little bit higher than mid. Like it was a good read, but I'm not raving or in love with it. Let me see what I said on Goodreads. Oh, before I started this, I did go ahead and read Nocticadia, and I absolutely loved that book. I gave it 4.25 stars, and when I tell you that was so creepy, it was the perfect gothic romance. It was everything I needed it to be. So different to The Wind Weaver. I gave this 3.75 stars. I said this was good, not what I was expecting, but engaging either way. It didn't read like a typical fantasy for a while, more like a historical fantasy fiction with kings and court politics. Our FMC has been falsely imprisoned for the last 2 years, and to earn her freedom, she has been tasked by one of the kings to spy and entrap the other kings. It was high stakes, and just when you thought she was in the clear, another order would come through. I do remember liking that part. As soon as she had completed a task that was like edge of your seat, high stakes, another order would come in that was even worse, and you would just be thinking, how is she gonna get that done? It infuriated me how much I wanted to kill King Ilian, which is always a good sign that a story can make me feel something. Magical aspects didn't come into the story until the very end, but it has made me excited to see what will happen in book 2. Even though I loathe the trope at the end, if you know, you know. I just remembered the trope. Oh yeah, I hate it. I've never read that trope done well. Actually, no, if I say the series then you're going to know what the trope is, but there's one series that I have read the trope in that I did really like. I probably will still read book 2 since it's a duology. The romance was good with Anton, that is. I did feel like the love triangle was unnecessary because absolutely no one was rooting for the other guy who felt entitled to her. He irritated me. Side characters like Gustav and Laurent were done good and enjoyable. Hope to see more of them in the next book. I tend to really like side characters because they add to that found family element and the comedic relief. But yeah, those are my thoughts on those 2 books, guys. I'm so sorry that my reading experience didn't make it to you, but yeah, what can I do? technology. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this reading vlog. Let me know if you want me to do another FairyLoot reading vlog, because I don't know if you can tell, but I have a lot of special editions that I need to get through, and I'll catch you in my next one. Take care. Bye.